Welcome everyone to lecture number 16. In this lecture we are going to start preamble. Okay, what exactly is preamble and what do we understand by it? Preamble is nothing but the one key term that covers everything aspects of it, that in one term it is called as the philosophy the philosophy of the constitution. It is Preamble is the philosophy of the constitution. Okay, so what does it contain? What this preamble contains? Okay, what this preamble contains? It we can basically define for this as this is preamble is nothing but the preface of the constitution. Preface of the constitution. Before going to the constitution, what exactly it is that it tells us? Preface of the constitution. It is summary of the constitution. It is summary of the constitution. What another thing it tells? It unlocks the mind of authors and drafters. It unlocks the mind of authors and drafters. What do you mean by this sentence? This particular sentence? This sentence means, let us suppose in a constitution, like if you go through the constitution of India, you will find that it is the language in which it is written. It is English, but it is very difficult to understand sometimes. Sometimes it becomes ambiguous, and sometimes it becomes very vague to understand, like what exactly that term means. Okay, in that case Supreme Court has the power to interpret that point mentioned in the constitution. On what basis that interpretation will go? That interpretation will go on the basis of this preamble. What this preamble says, on this preamble meaning, what this preamble is telling, on that basis this interpretation will be made. Okay, so this preamble sets the ideals and goals which the makers of the constitution intend to achieve through the constitution. Okay, that one second, there was a network glitch, because of that this glitch happened. Okay, so this constitution, this preamble sets the ideals and goals which the makers of the constitution intend to achieve through that constitution. Okay, got it? That it sets the goals what that constitution maker wanted to make. Okay, so we'll go through, like we'll give the story about to understand more in depth. So in 1967, through Golaknath versus State of Punjab, 1967, for this case, in this judge said that the preamble contains in a nutshell its ideals and its aspirations. Okay, like preamble in a nutshell is nothing but is a conclude part, is a summary part of the constitution, that it contains the what ideals and what aspirations that our constitution contains. That thing this preamble tells us. It contains a ideals and aspiration in a nutshell, like in short form. In a short form, we are going to tell that thing in Golaknath uh, versus state of Punjab judge said. Okay, in 1960 there are various judgment in this the preamble was quoted. And why I am quoting this? Because preamble why I am quoting this, because preamble is not enforceable in a court of law. That's why. Then why we are giving so much value to this constitution when it is not enforceable in the court of law? Because this can be used for the interpretation of the constitution. That's why it is very important. Because okay, on the basis of constitution only court runs. Okay, on the basis of constitution only court runs. But if at any place uh, court is confused with the line in the constitution, they are going to see the preamble. They are going to see the preamble to clear the constitution, to clear the doubt of the constitution, whatever the content is written in the constitution. And that's why preamble is very important. And yes, preamble is not enforceable in a court of law. Okay, so what happened in the 1960 case, Bedubadi? So Bedubadi Union in 1960 case, Bedubadi Union and exchange case. In this case, like few parts were present in the Bangladesh, few parts were in the in India that were being regarding that case. There was some case was going on. It is related to that, so we don't have to worry about things. We just have to remember like what happened in this, what point was given for the related the preamble in this case. Okay, in the exchange case, Supreme Court said what said? Preamble is a key to open the mind of makers. What do you understand by it? In any scenario, if judge is confused with the part of the constitution, they are going to open the mind of those people who made the constitution and will try to understand why that particular line is written under the constitution, what they mean by that term written in the constitution, and through which, by how they are going to understand the mind of the makers? By reading the preamble. By reading the preamble, the court is going to understand the mind of the makers of the constitution, who wrote the constitution, who were involved in the writing of the constitution. Okay, third important thing, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he presented objective resolution, which was this objective resolution, which was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on January 22, 1947, and preamble is based on this objective resolution. And what this objective resolution, this preamble is based upon this objective resolution, what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru adopted, and after that only our constitution was written. So preamble is based on this objective resolution. Okay, so I guess like now we have a clear picture in our mind that what exactly is this preamble. Okay, now we'll try to break down the constitution. Okay, now we'll try to break down the constitution, break down the preamble. Okay, breaking down the meaning of preamble, breaking down of preamble of India. So first point, what this preamble tells? This preamble tells, first line, we the people of India. We the people of India. About whom it talks? It talks about the people of India. It talks about the source from where this preamble has came. Okay, what is the source of preamble? The source of preamble is none other than people of India themselves. We have seen that who gave the constitution is given by the people of India to themselves. People of India has gifted the constitution to themselves. Okay, so it talks about the source of preamble. Who is the source? The people of India have made this preamble and gifted to themselves. Got it? We'll after the end of the lecture we'll go through the preamble also. Okay, now I'm breaking down so that when we go through the preamble you will be able to understand what exactly that preamble, what was the text, what is written in the preamble, what exactly it means. Okay, first, we the people of India. We the people of India means like people of India. From where this preamble came? What is the source of this preamble? The source of the preamble is no other than people of India. Now, another important term, sovereign, socialist, secular, there is no comma, let me remove it. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. Okay, this whole word is written in one single term. This whole sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic is together in the preamble. It's together written in the preamble. It tells about the nature of Indian state. Okay, none of them is separated. Like you have to note that in the preamble, when these terms are written, there is no comma. There is no comma. No comma, no comma, no comma means they are united. They are united. They are united. No comma is given in the text. It means like they are united together. What is united? Our Indian state. It tells about this whole sentence, this whole word tells about the nature of Indian states. Okay, now other thing, now we'll see. We have written justice, this term, justice, liberty, equality, equality and fraternity. Here is comma is used. Liberty, equality and justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. What exactly this means? This symbolizes the objectives of the Indian Constitution. Objectives of the Indian Constitution. Okay, it tells about the objectives of the Indian Constitution: justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Okay, now Another important point, it tells about the date. Now what extra is mentioned in the preamble? It tells us, it tells us about the date on which it was adopted by the whom? By the Constituent Assembly. What is that date? The date is not 26th January. The date is 26th November. 26th November 1949. On that date it was adopted by the Constituent Assembly. On that date last reading of the Constitution happened. On 26th January 1950 it came into the force, but it was adopted on 26th November 1949. Okay, like it was enacted on the 4th 23 on the it was insisted by the Pandit Nehru only. It was done on 26th Jan 1950. It is because on 1929 historic Lahore session, Indian National Congress said our goal will be Purn Swaraj, and on 26th January 1930 they celebrated our first independence. During their time in 26th January 1930 they celebrated their first independence. So on 26th January 1930 said declared. So that's a Pandit Nehru said that no, will force this constitution to come into force by 26th January only. Okay, on that day it is going to complete its 50 years. Why? What happened? Like on 26th January 1930 Pandit Indian National Congress declared its first independence. Okay, but it doesn't happen. It was the first independence day, but it was failed. Okay, that's why on 26th January 1950 it was going to be 30 years of this declaration. That's why Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said like no, on 26th November we are not going to enforce. We'll enforce this this constitution on 26th January, as on that the same day we take place on 30 not 30 years. What I'm telling, this is not 30 years. After 20 years. Okay, after 20 years. So on that day they placed that on that day only we are going to celebrate our Republic Day. On that day only our constitution will come into the force. Okay, so we have the clear picture in our mind. Okay, so thus our constitution was enacted on that day. Now we'll go through the constitution, we'll go through the preamble, and then we'll try to understand why we have discussed those terms here. Okay, see what exactly this preamble tells. This is the preamble. Okay, this is the preamble of her. See what it tells: we the people of India, having solemnly resolved, resolved to constitute the India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens. We the people of India means like from where this preamble is brought by. What is the source of this preamble? It is the people of India themselves. What does this mean? Our state is nothing but sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. This tells about the all the Indian states. Now justice, social, economic, and political, this is our objective of instant constitution. This justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, this total 4 lines is the objective of our Indian constitution. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Equality of status, opportunity to promote them all. Fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. Individual, even the backward class, even the tribal people, we are assuring their dignity. We are assuring the dignity of female. Okay, so this for justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. This tells about the objective of Indian Constitution. And what the next our preamble tells? It tells about the day, about the date on which our constitution was adopted. On which day? It was 26 January, 26 November 1949. So in our Constituent Assembly, the 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves the Constitution. This is mentioned in our preamble. This is the point that is mentioned in our preamble. Okay. So next we'll discuss what exactly we mean. Like right now I have just explained you like sovereign, democratic, republic, socialist. But what these terms exactly mean, we have to understand. Then we'll be able to know the exact meaning of the preamble. Currently I have told you like what these points mean in the preamble. Why this point is mentioned in the preamble? This point is mentioned in the preamble related to purpose. Like we the people of India, it tells about the source of the preamble. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, it tells about the Indian states, that they are united. Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity tells about the goal of the constitution, objective of the constitution, and it tells about the date. Now we'll understand the meaning of sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, each one by one in the next lecture. Thank you.